Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what about you sparks curiosity in people. So in today's reading, we do have 3 piles to choose from. Take a look at whichever pile you're most drawn to and pick the first one that stands out to you the most. So how you're going to use your intuition is just by picking the first option and by not second guessing yourself. So for pile number 1, we have the crystal Lapis Lazuli with Transcendence. For pile number 2, we have clear quartz with Expression. And for pile number 3, we have Tiger's Eye with Resolve. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and if you're still struggling to pick a pile, then you're more than welcome to pause the video, then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this Lapis Lazuli crystal and the Transcendence card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you sparks curiosity in people. So please be aware that this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. I do also have a giveaway happening at the moment, and the giveaway winner will be announced when I reach 40k subscribers. So if you'd like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel and comment under this video to stand a chance to win a free 30-minute reading from me. So your card says Moonstone with the crown chakra. I will say that a lot of people are drawn to you spiritually. There's something about your aura shining bright in some way, and your aura being quite magnetic and full of light in some way, where naturally people are just energetically drawn to you because of the way your energy vibrates. Right? And I think that a lot of people try to read you and try to figure you out. There is this mystery that's exuded from your aura, but also at the same time, you're coming across as like an open book, a clear channel. And because of that, people are then just drawn to you and drawn to your aura, trying to figure you out, trying to read you because of that mystery you have going on. But then at the same time, you're an open book in conversations with people, and then they just want to know more and more and more and more because they can tell you're being honest and open with them. But then at the same time, there's still a mystery there where it's like, give me more, I want to know more. You know, when you're listening to a really intriguing story and you just want more details, that's how I'm feeling in the energy. So let's go ahead and pull your cards and see what else comes up for you. There is something very sexy about this pile. I hear that you're a total babe and you have a lot of people being curious about you because of your sexiness and because of your look. So Spirit is showing me, I guess the gender you're attracted to will be kind of like obsessive over you, I want to say, to the point where they're trying to read you, to the point where maybe they'll even like stalk you on social media, things like that, where it's like they almost just want to figure you out. I'm also seeing this energy of you being a romantic, like a lover girl, lover boy. And so because you're already giving off that energy of love, you attract love much easier to you. And I feel like with you, it's your energy. That's the #1 factor in like drawing people towards you, because your energy is at the right place at the right frequency, and so you're going to attract what you want to attract. And because you're already in that vibration of love, you're attracting love to you so much easier. And I see a lot of people being intrigued and curious about you because they have a crush on you, because they're attracted to you in some way. And so that is what I see happening here. Okay, so what about pile number 1 sparks curiosity in people? What about pile number 1 sparks curiosity in people? We have the Hierophant showing up reversed. Then we have the 3 of Pentacles showing up reversed. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Swords reversed, as well as the Ace of Cups reversed with an extra card, the Five of Cups. I'll check that that's in frame now. Let's get your clarification card. So clarify the Hierophant, please, Spirit. We have the Nine of Swords reversed. Clarify the Three of Pentacles reversed. The Page of Pentacles. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles, Spirit. Knight of Cups. The Ace of Swords reversed, clarifying the Eight of Swords. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so let me just check that these are in frame and straight for you guys, and then I'll tell you exactly what I see. And then we also have the Two of Cups as an extra card. I literally mentioned that you guys are romantics, and the Two of Cups is coming out as an extra card. I take that as confirmation. Then we have the Page of Cups reversed at the back of the deck. Another thing about your energy that I see, I don't mean this to turn into an energy reading, but it's all about your energy that's attracting people towards you. So another thing I see about your energy that's contributing to people's curiosity towards you is that your energy is very expansive. It's big. It's not like you're making yourself small to please others or to fit in. And even if you do sometimes struggle with that, I feel like you are making progress in taking up space. And because you are taking up space energetically, it's like people sense and feel that power. Even if they are not psychic, they can subconsciously pick up on the energy here. So since people feel your power, they're A, going to respect you more, but B, they're also going to be intrigued because maybe they themselves want that spiritual power too, on some kind of subconscious level, right? I think that you come across as very inspiring to others, almost like a trendsetter. Like you're the one to do something first, to like something before it's cool. I think you're very ahead of your time, pile number one. And I mean, you're literally pile one and you have card number one here. So there's something about you being like the first to do something, or the first to try something, or the first to succeed at something new. Whereas everybody's been using the same method, has been kind of doing the same thing. You're the first to stand out and try something new and innovative. And because of that, people get curious, like, how did this person have this idea? How did this person realize that this thing was going to work? They're the first person that did this. Like, I'm getting that type of energy here. Or they're the first one that like succeeded at this. Or maybe you put together an outfit and you're the first one that ever, experimented with that type of look, and now other people want to copy it or try it themselves. I am seeing that quite prominently here. This pile could be influences if you wanted to, because of this trait that you have of being ahead of your time. Maybe some of you use it in your creativity too. I'm hearing that song, Who Is She? So you definitely bring out the curiosity in people because of your mystery, where people almost ask to themselves, who is this person? There's this seductive energy coming from you, yet at the same time, your energy comes across as like quite rich and pure in some way. I also feel like in terms of fashion, like people are always looking at your look and your fashion and how creative it is, and it does spark curiosity in people. Also, maybe you're the type of pile that puts in a lot of effort into your look. Like you're constantly doing things that are going to elevate your look in some way. Like, for example, I'm seeing some of you will go and wax and tint your eyebrows so that maybe you don't have to wear makeup every single day, so that your eyebrows look good all the time. Or maybe some of you, do things like that where it's like you can elevate your look even when you're natural. And I'm seeing some of you like to buy more high-end makeup, skincare, or clothes. Like maybe you like more luxury, living life on the finer side with the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. But you also work hard for your money and for what you have. So you maybe like to spoil yourself with the money you make. I am picking up on that from this pile. If that doesn't resonate, that's okay. There's many of you watching. But when people basically see you wearing, like, for example, a designer purse or something where it looks luxurious, like maybe your clothing looks luxurious, they get drawn to it and they get curious because maybe they want to buy that themselves or look that way themselves. Or let's say your hair looks very glossy and shiny and they wonder, like, which salon did you go to? Like, there's something about people wanting to steal or copy your look or take inspiration from it. Definitely your beauty is something that sparks curiosity in people, because that's coming up for me quite strongly as I read the energy. And also because you put in a lot of effort into maintaining your look, like this is my high maintenance pile. It does spark curiosity within people, not just romantically, but people of the same gender too, that maybe wouldn't take inspiration from your look. You're definitely very gorgeous and handsome, this pile. Um, yeah. Also, like, something about the eyebrows looks really good with this pile. And like your skin looks very glowy and radiant. Like something about you just looks But anyways, let's move on to something else other than your look. I also see that you're someone with pretty high standards, and because you cut off people that just don't meet your standards or put you as a priority, because the thing is with you, like, you're lover girls, lover boys, and you'll make someone a priority any day, but like if they're not giving you the same treatment, then it's just not worth it for you, because I feel like for you, you want the type of love that you dream of, and you're not going to settle for less. You know what I mean? So, because you're in that energy of like elevating yourself, deserving more, believing you deserve more, and actually integrating that within your life, you're kind of giving off an energy of like, yes, I deserve this. And because of that, I guess it sparks curiosity in people that maybe question if they're settling, or maybe question what they truly deserve within love, and if they're truly knowing their worth within love and friendships. And it doesn't just have to be within love, within career too, but um, I'm getting this energy of like, because people see you doing that, they start to question if they're realizing their worth too. So it's like you make people question themselves when they see you doing that. And for people that maybe are doing the same thing, I see them praising you and being curious because maybe they want to learn from you. And then you're going to get a small group of people that maybe hate on you because of you setting high standards for yourself. And listen, if that triggers something within them, then that means they have something to look at. Maybe it triggers something within them because deep down they know they're settling for something they don't deserve. And they almost look at you like, oh, you think you're better than me, or oh, you know, that type of energy, which I'm not going to pay attention to. But sometimes, you know, you will get reactions from people like that when you're knowing your worth. Basically, the people that maybe don't want to see you know your worth, or maybe even people that don't want to be cut off and want you to accept whatever behavior they're giving and sort of like enable that behavior, if that makes sense. So earlier I felt this cat-like feline energy from you, and we see lions here within this Queen of Pentacles card. So maybe there's something about you exuding confidence in some way, because the feline energy is represented by confidence. It's Leo energy, and it also represents courage and bravery. So maybe, and also strength. So maybe you're giving off that energy or vibe of confidence, courage, and strength. And maybe you're not afraid to be yourself in the world. You're not afraid to go after the things you want in terms of like opportunities. Some people will want that opportunity but will never go after it because they don't believe they can actually get that. They don't believe that they can actually like accomplish that thing. And so they are shy, and then they kind of like don't put themselves out there, but maybe you do. And because you're going against the grain of like what people usually do, people notice it and then they get curious, like, why am I not going after these things that I want to go after? Maybe within dating and love, you're not afraid to put yourself out there or talk to a stranger. Not just within dating and love, but friendships too. Like maybe you're not afraid to, yeah, like I said, talk to a stranger or put yourself out there or flirt a little. Um, like you just give off the vibe of you're not afraid to do those things you want to do. You just go out and do it. Whether you feel fear or not, like you seem like a go-getter. You seem like you don't feel fear in social situations and stuff like that. You just seem confident within yourself. And I guess that's what's making people curious. They're wondering, like, are you actually fearless or do you have to push yourself to do that? They're just kind of observing you. You're someone a lot of people want to observe because you're very different and unique in some way. And you don't follow the crowd. Like, you're someone that will stand out doing something you love rather than trying to fit in and follow the crowd. You also seem very grounded within your belief within self. Like, when you want to go after something, you try to not think negative thoughts that would make you doubt yourself. And you're also very grounded in general, even within conversations with people. Nothing really seems to make you overthink or to make you anxious. At least from the outside perspective, you seem very like cool, calm, and collected and grounded. Like someone could say something passive aggressive to you, and it looks like it wouldn't throw you off in some way. And with the Eight of Swords reverse, maybe some of you used to deal with anxiety or used to deal with overthinking a lot, or maybe kept yourself stuck in one place because of fear, and because of overthinking, since it's opposite the Ace of Swords, and because of like maybe not having clarity on the things you want. But I think after realizing what you want, after gaining clarity on that, I think you've maybe like dealt with that overthinking and the anxiety, and you're able to maybe calm yourself and your nervous system down. Maybe you've done a lot of healing work on yourself energetically. And maybe some of you just faced your fears, and people are maybe noticing that, and um yeah, it's sparking curiosity within them. I'm getting that you sort of have this energy charge. Like you seem very energetic. You seem charged with energy and you don't seem drained in any type of way. And that's also something that sparks curiosity within people. I'm also getting that this pile's quite intuitive. So, when people have curiosity towards you for the wrong reasons, you instantly know. You might not know what their intentions are exactly. You might not be able to know everything in that situation, but you'll just sense something is off and then you won't want to speak to that person. So, I don't know if you've ever had instances where someone is very eager to talk to you or be around you, but you just feel off around them and you don't know why. That is usually because their curiosity towards you is coming from maybe not the best intention, or maybe not the. It doesn't mean that they have bad intentions towards you per se, but it could be like maybe a superficial intention, for example. Um, so, for example, let's say someone is trying to talk to you, asking you, "Oh, where did you get that bag?" But they kind of just want to maybe copy your look, and maybe you sense something off with them, and then you tell them you decide to not tell them where you get that bag from, but maybe usually you don't gatekeep, but like in that instance you send something off. Or let's say someone is eager to be your friend and you're like, you feel off about them and they're so eager, and then you feel bad because they seem so eager, but you just don't want to be friends with them and you don't know why, but maybe they just want something from you. You know what I mean? So sometimes you'll pick up on those subtle energies from people, and that will protect you from their negative intentions, right? And sometimes it's just people being insecure within themselves, coming from a low self-worth or self-esteem, almost trying to, I want to say, siphon your confident energy. And I don't think these people do it intentionally unless they're like um, an energy worker of some kind where they know how to siphon energies and they do it intentionally and on purpose. But these are kind of just people that are maybe insecure within themselves, and then they see your confident energy and then they feel that, and then they want to be around you to kind of hope that it rubs off on them. And that's like sort of siphoning your energy in a way. So I guess the message here is to just be careful of people maybe having a curiosity towards you for the wrong reasons or for the wrong intention, and you will be um, able to sense that, right? So with the Hierophant reversed opposite the Nine of Swords reversed, again, it seems like you faced fears of yours. It seems like you're no longer in that fearful mentality or in a negative mentality. Maybe you've been working a lot on your thoughts and your self-concept and like the way you see the world. So maybe people have noticed the shift within that, if they already know you. And if they don't know you and they see you being very fearless, then maybe they wonder how you got to that place, or maybe they wonder if it's an act or if it's real, and they kind of just have a curiosity because of that. With the Hierophant reversed, it's like I want to learn from you. I don't just want to learn like where you got this from or how you got your skin to look like this or whatever when it comes to your look. It's like I also want to learn from you spiritually, or I want to learn how you did this. I want to learn how you got here within your journey. And it doesn't just have to be career wise. Like someone could see you succeeding within your career and could want to learn from you because maybe they don't have that knowledge themselves. Like let's say they just started out, so they're just a beginner. Or it could be like wanting to learn how you got here in terms of your growth journey or healing journey or spiritual journey. That is a feeling I get here. Because it seems like you've expanded and grown in different areas of life. And it seems like you're very capable of achieving your wildest dreams and almost like winning and putting yourself out there in multiple areas of life. Then people just want to learn from you because of that. I also see that people that maybe have experienced disappointments in life and are in a victim mentality will look at you and feel a curiosity because you're not in that victim mentality, and maybe they'll learn to think differently if they look at how you live life. Um, because it's almost like they're stuck in that place of pain and they believe it will happen to them over and over again. You know, like those people that are always like, oh, bad things always happen to me and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's because they keep repeating that to themselves. And yes, maybe it comes from a place of they went through pain and now they believe that to be true for their whole life. But then sometimes they attract those things because they keep repeating it, like, oh, bad things keep happening to me. Oh, like, you know, those people that are like, I'm a walking bad luck charm or something like that. Sometimes it's because they speak that into their reality that it actually happens, or they keep thinking that way, then it actually keeps happening to them. And sometimes they'll look at you and maybe you think differently in a way. Maybe you think in a more positive way, or you try not to think negatively, and then they'll kind of get confused because you're thinking differently than them, right? I get that also people will feel confused by you if their heart is closed off. Because like I said, you're a lover girl, lover boy, romantics at heart, and you just have your heart wide open. Maybe you're also not afraid to get hurt because you know that maybe you've accepted that like disappointment will happen in relationships, and disappointment is a part of life, but loving is also a part of life too, and opening up your heart is also a part of life too. And like maybe you're not trying to run from that experience of love. And people that close off their hearts and are cold and don't have empathy and don't care, they're so confused by you. It's because they have a lot of work to do on themselves, like inner work, and then they'll get confused by you and then they'll get curious because you're different than them. So that's also something that sparks curiosity within people when you're acting in a different way than they act, and then they get confused and then they get curious. Does that make sense? So that is all I have for you, pile number one. This is what sparks curiosity in people. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, pile number twos. If you chose this clear quartz crystal and the expression card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you sparks curiosity in people. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. I do have a giveaway happening at the moment, so if you'd like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel and comment under this video to stand a chance to win a free 30-minute reading from me, and the winner will be announced when I reach 40k subscribers. So your card says flower agate with the throat chakra. So what I'm taking from this card is you have a softness to you, yet at the same time, a roughness to you. Just like a flower, when you look at like a rose, for example, it has soft petals, but it also has thorns too. And when we're looking at the throat chakra, this is how we communicate with others, non-verbally, but also verbally. So people start to get curious because of that soft yet rough energy you have, where you're able to be soft and gentle and in that loving heart chakra energy, yet you're also able to protect yourself with your thorns. And there's this energy of boundaries with this pile. And I guess people get curious because of that. They get curious how you're able to hold that softness, yet also that roughness at the same time, and balance those two energies out, where it's like, oh, I don't just have to be this, I can be this too. It's like you're able to hold or maintain two opposite energies and balance those two, like the yin and the yang. And it's not just within softness and roughness, but you're maybe somebody that can hold two opposite energies and balance those two out at the same time. And sometimes people get confused by it and then they get curious, like, well, I thought I could just be this thing and not the opposite too. So you're kind of like a contradiction within itself, and people get curious because they try to figure out which one you're more of. So like, let's say you're holding a two opposite energy of something. It's like they're trying to figure out, are you more like this, or are you more like this, or are you both, or am I misreading you? And I guess that's something that does spark curiosity within people, but also the things you say and the things you don't say. So there's something about like your conversations sparking curiosity within people. Like, let's say, I guess it will just depend on your personality. Let's say you're a really quiet, shy person and you're in a group conversation and you're barely saying anything. And now people are wondering, like, why is this person not speaking? Like, are they shy? Are they just not feeling like speaking? Do they not like me? Let's say you're being very loud and energetic and you're kind of just expressing yourself in that way, and then they're wondering like, oh, this person has a lot to say, like, I wonder why. I wonder if they're always like this. I wonder if they're extroverted. Like, I wonder if they're just bubbly and they like me. So something about the way you speak will spark curiosity within people, but not only just the way you speak, but also the words you use, the stories you tell. Like people will want more from that. Like let's say you're telling a story and people are following your story, but then they're kind of like curious and they have questions while you're telling the story, but maybe by the end of the story they forget what they were going to ask. I see that too. I also see people like trying to read between the lines when you speak. So with you, I think you are prone to a lot of misunderstandings with people because people try to read between the lines and they're not just focusing on what you're saying, but they're focusing on how you're saying it, your tone, your nonverbal language, like your facial expressions, for example, or your body language. And sometimes they try to like read between the lines and sometimes they're wrong and then they jump to conclusions and then they have this idea of you that's maybe not true or rooted in reality. And sometimes, like, let's say I'm crossing my arms, maybe it's just because I feel like doing it in the moment, maybe it's not because I'm closed off. Like, okay, sometimes body language can be correct in the sense where someone does something unconsciously, but sometimes it can just be because maybe that person has a habit of doing that, or maybe it's because, like let's say someone seems really tired in a conversation. It doesn't mean they're bored of us. It could just be that they had a long day at work and they're not in the mood for this conversation, and then someone else is misinterpreting it as, oh, they think I'm boring. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like with you, you've had a lot of misunderstandings with people because of people trying to read your body language or people trying to read these nonverbal communications of yours. And they do it because they try to get to know you better, but then sometimes they're not always right. Does that make sense? Um, so yes, we can read body language and all those things and be right a lot of the times, but then sometimes there are those moments where we misread it. Does that make sense? So I'm seeing that here. And I don't want to over explain now, but I hope you get what I mean. We have the Empress with the Nine of Wands reverse, Strength, Justice, and the Nine of Pentacles. Now let's get your clarification card. So clarify the Empress, please, Spirit. We have the Magician. We have the Nine of Wands, clarifying the Nine of Wands. We have the Death card, clarifying the Nine of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords reverse, clarifying Strength. We have the Knight of Swords, clarifying Justice. And we have Temperance reverse, clarifying the Nine of Pentacles. And at the back of the deck, we have the Five of Wands. So I'm also getting that, like, people also get curious about you based off things you tell them. Like, let's say you speak about a friend that you had, and now this person's like wanting to know everything about that friendship. Or let's say you, speak about someone you know, and now they kind of like want to go on Instagram and stalk that person and see what that person's like. You also have instances where you say something and someone wants to know all the tea and gossip, that they get curious, if that makes sense. Like, even if you're not trying to gossip, like, let's just say you're talking about a person and they want to know the tea, they're hungry for that, then they will kind of get curious and like do a little bit of stalking online, or try to ask you like about the situation to get more juicy details, if that makes sense. I also see people like wanting to ask you certain questions about yourself and about your life. I guess it's because people are always watching you very closely and very intently. I have no idea why. Sometimes you think like no one's paying attention to you, but they are. And I have no idea why. But there's something about like people noticing things you think they wouldn't notice. Like, um, Let's say, for example, you're in college and you're speaking to somebody new and you're talking to this person and you guys are like flirting a little bit and people are walking by. And now, like, a lot of people just know that you and this person are speaking romantically just because people walk by and saw it. You know what I mean? And you think they wouldn't be interested to know that, but they are. But it's more so coming through as like, I want to know the juicy gossip. It's more so coming through like that. Like people just watching you to figure out what you're doing. Uh, It's almost like whenever you do something, even if it's just small, it's like you'll have the gossipers that will tell everybody, and next thing now, everybody knows about what happened, even if it was something small, even if it was just like, oh, you got a new dog, or oh, you passed this exam, or whatever. Like, there's something like people just knowing the small things that happen in your life and then wanting to know more, getting curious because somebody else told them, even if they didn't see it for themselves. I think this pile has maybe also had like people spread rumors about you because of maybe envy with the Five of Wands at the back of the deck. And so then sometimes people will project onto you because of envy. And then let's say they spread something about you that's a lie and other people think it's true, but it's distorted. It's not the truth. And then they think you're like that, but then you're actually not. And then they project that truth onto you and it's not even your truth. And then they get curious towards that when it wasn't even true in the first place. So I'm also seeing that within your pile. So I guess gossips, chatter about you with the throat chakra. I actually never expected that message, but it's coming through. Chatter about you makes people curious. Like, let's say someone's just speaking about you and it's not even in a way of gossip, but they're just like, oh, my friend, got in a new relationship. I'm so happy for her or him. And then the other person's like curious about that. I'm seeing stuff like that come through, even like if your family speaks about you, um, friends speak about you, other people could get curious. There's something about people always getting curious about what you're doing next. And I get that it's like everybody wants to know what you're going to do next and what you did. And it's like people always want a catch-up session with you of what you did this weekend. And, you know, it's almost like people are just following your every move, which is really weird to say, but I'm seeing that. I guess the public perception of you is quite confused with the Ace of Swords reverse because of your dichotomy, I'm hearing. What does that word even mean? Okay, so basically what I said earlier, like your opposite energies, because it says a division or contrast between two things that are represented as being opposed or entirely different. Um, so with the Ace of Swords reverse, people definitely get confused by it, but also by the opposing talk about you, and then it just doesn't make sense anymore. One person will say that you went on a trip to Thailand, whereas the other person said, no, they went to a trip to Malaysia, and now the public perception is confused because there's opposing gossip on you and opposing talk about you. And now nobody knows what's actually true and what's false. Does that make sense? So let's say someone spreads a lie about you and another person spreads the truth, and now nobody knows what the actual lie or truth is. That can also spark curiosity, where now it's like I'm trying to almost be a detective and figure out what the truth actually is. Sometimes you'll even have nosy people try to get intel on your life and then speak about it to other people because maybe they heard something about you and now it sparked curiosity in them. Um, Also, this is gonna sound really weird, but be careful who you tell who you helped. Because I'm seeing this energy of people, yes, the light flickered confirmation. I'm seeing this energy of people almost be like vultures. Like, let's say you run a business, for example, and you have an item that's free for the first 20 people, and now people are speaking about it, and the 20 people are up, 20 people already got it for free. Now everybody else has to pay, and everybody's like, what about me? What about me? I heard this person got a free thing. What about me? Why can't I get a free thing? And also, like, I'm just using that as an example, but like, let's say you helped somebody by borrowing them money, for example, and now another person heard about it and now they want to borrow money from you too. Even though they're not struggling, they just heard that somebody got money from you and now they want to ask you for money. So this pile has had a lot of like users and takers in your life and people that just want something from you. So be careful of that, because oftentimes they'll hear from someone else that they got something from you and then they'll want to try their luck, which is so weird to say, but that's what I see. I've never seen that in a reading before. That's so strange. Anyways, I also see here that you have a lot of strengths and talents within you of things you're good at. And it doesn't just have to be like a talent specifically, but just things you're good at, things you have strengths within. Um, and I guess when people notice a strength you have, you'll have a lot of observant eyes on you, watching you because of that. Like wanting to see how you do it. Like, let's say, for example, you're very good at playing the piano, and you're playing the piano in your piano class, and now, people are wanting to look from outside to see how good you are because maybe other people spoke about how good you are, or whatever. Like, I'm seeing that type of energy where it's like, now I want to actually see what you're doing, to see how good you are at this, to see how you do it, because I'm kind of like impressed by you, but I also don't want to admit it. Like with this pile, you get that a lot, like people being impressed by you, but not wanting to admit it and then being curious. Um, and then you'll even have some jealous people that will watch you um, be good at something and then will try to like disprove it. Like, oh no, they're not even that good at this because this other person did this better. Um, I'm seeing that type of energy here with this pile where you'll attract a lot of jealousy from people because you're just naturally good at things, and then a lot of people will try to almost like make it seem like you're not even good at that thing, and spread lies about you. You've also had a lot of experiences in life of hardship, pile number 2, and your life hasn't been easy, but you've been able to change things for yourself and you've been able to remain strong and resilient through that. And you've been able to take on a challenge without seeing it as something bad, but rather seeing it as something that's going to teach you something or going to make you stronger. And because of your mindset around those challenges within life, you haven't let the challenges weigh heavy on your back. You've actually been allowing it to make you stronger so that you're able to deal with challenges later on. Because life is full of challenges. Life isn't like sunshine and rainbows. Life can be easy, but there are challenges within life, and I think that's a part of life we just have to accept. But you've been able to accept it, but you've also been able to handle those situations gracefully. And you've been able to speak about it, where you speak about it, and you say like what you've learned from it, how it transformed you in some way, and how you change those things to make your life easier and to make your life maybe a little bit less chaotic. And I guess when people hear about that from you or from other people, they kind of want to see how you did it so that maybe they can make their own life less challenging and less hard too. And part of what has made your life less challenging was making money for yourself. And even if you don't consider yourself at the level you want to be yet. I do think that you're on the path to creating some kind of independence and comfortability around the finances. You're on your way there, or you are getting there. And I think because of that, that has sparked curiosity within people, especially because you weren't at a comfortable place financially and you've been able to create some kind of independence for yourself. But I think you've put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, hard work into your actual work, and that's elevated you in some way. And I think with Temperance reverse, it's taken a long time to get here. Like, at times you were impatient, at times you felt like giving up. But I think because you have that go-getter energy and because you're so ambitious, and because you want to create that financial independence for yourself, it has sparked curiosity within people that also want to get there and also want to create some kind of abundance for themselves. This pile is definitely the talk of the town. You have a lot of people talking about you. You have a lot of people interested in talking about you and talking to you. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I'm getting. You'll also have some people that are curious towards you, but it's coming from a place of envy. And then they'll kind of like stalk everything you do because they're so envious of you. Which I don't want to focus on that too much, but it is coming up. And that is all I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 3s. If you chose this Tiger's Eye crystal and the Resolve card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you sparks curiosity in people. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please find my email address in the description box below. I also have a giveaway happening at the moment. So I will be announcing the giveaway winner when we reach 40k subscribers. So if you'd like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel and comment under this video to stand a chance to win a free 30-minute reading from me. So your card says Desert Jasper with Vesta. So I'm feeling a very specific energy with this pile. And if this part doesn't resonate in the beginning, then feel free to pick another pile. But I'm getting that your pile, it's like people are curious towards your story. I'm seeing your story has had a lot of hardship within it, and it hasn't been the happiest story, like the beginning of your life. I'm getting that a lot of you were not in a place of like having some kind of stability growing up. So either you grew up maybe not having a lot of money, or you grew up in like maybe a toxic household, or you grew up in a household that didn't have everything it needed emotionally or physically. So I'm getting this energy of being malnourished physically or emotionally in some way, or being neglected in some way as a child, or being abandoned some way as a child, and that leading to certain traumas that maybe were unerasable and we had to like heal from ourselves, where we couldn't get that nourishment from either a parental figure or from life itself, and we had to give that to ourselves because we were quote unquote malnourished. So I'm seeing this energy of like neglect or abandonment, like where one parent wasn't physically there or emotionally there, and you kind of had to deal with those things on your own. You didn't really have anybody there to help you through it. I do think that you had a lot of angels around you, though, supporting you and protecting you through this like difficult childhood, right? I'm seeing that a lot of you maybe even didn't have mothers or fathers that nurtured you in some way. It's almost like you were toughened up by your parents. Like you had to learn how to be strong. You had to learn how to live without that. But I think as time went by, you realize that maybe you have needs emotionally too, and that you had to either find a way to meet them yourself or to get other people to meet those needs for you. And I think that people are maybe very curious towards your story, how you survived that. Like maybe some of you, trigger warning, maybe grew up in like abusive households. And people kind of just wonder how you resolve that within your own heart, how you healed from that, how you found strength from that, and how you're so grounded now. Because it seems like you've grown a lot. It seems like you're at this place where you're grounded now, and it seems like this isn't affecting you mentally or emotionally anymore, or it's affecting you less now because maybe you've given yourself that emotional nourishment you need, or maybe you've gotten healing from other people. Like maybe you've had friends support you through this when your family wasn't there for you, or maybe you had a lover kind of support you through it, or maybe you did it on your own. I don't know, but I'm getting this energy that somehow like you gave yourself what you needed, or someone else gave you what you needed. And it's like you've been also like protecting yourself in some way, emotionally, but also physically. I get that you've also been dealing with like certain coping mechanisms that have maybe been unhealthy, that formed during that place of trauma, or that place of not having what you needed. I'm also getting that you had an undernourished root chakra, and you somehow got it like balanced again. So like your root chakra wasn't strong before, but somehow you balanced it out by giving yourself what you needed in that moment, or receiving it from someone else. So we have the Four of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Strength card. Definitely like people noticing your strength and resilience, and how you've worked on yourself with the Seven of Pentacles, and how you've maybe worked on finding safety within the body with the Four of Swords, and finding a peace and calmness even after being through trauma or pain. Two of Cups and Knight of Cups. So clarify the Four of Swords, Spirit. We have the Ace of Wands. Clarify the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords. And I think you guys have sort of been conditioned to not be very emotional. And that has either turned out in two ways for some of you in this pile. Some of you turned out overly emotional, where it's like the people around you couldn't offer you what you needed emotionally because they were just not equipped to handle that. Or some of you turned out the opposite, where you almost became cold, or I don't know if I want to use the word cold, but like you almost became closed off emotionally, and you became like very uncomfortable with like other people maybe expressing themselves emotionally, where there's like an awkwardness around knowing how to nurture, or how to show that like empathy, even though you feel empathy, but like you maybe don't know how to show that support to other people because it's never been shown to you. And so that's what I'm feeling from this pile. My voice even feels very shaky in this pile, so I think this is maybe something that's hard to talk about for you. So the clarifying cards we have on the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Cups, Ace of Swords reversed. This is shown up in all three piles for some reason. The Justice card and the Nine of Swords reversed. And at the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So I'm just going to make sure these cards are straight, and then I'll tell you what I see. So I also feel a sub energy within this full energy, if that makes sense. Which this part won't resonate with everybody. This is just some of you, but maybe this hard life or hard childhood you endured led you to taking on certain coping mechanisms that weren't good for you, that you had to sort of deal with as time went by. Like maybe some of you had like certain addictions, or maybe you learned certain coping mechanisms that weren't healthy, at the time, but it helped you deal with it at the time, and it helped you survive whatever you had to go through at the time. But then I think later on you had to maybe find safer, healthier coping mechanisms. And when I say coping mechanism, it doesn't have to just be like doing something to make ourselves feel better. It could be like, maybe I pick up on a toxic trait of manipulation because my parents were manipulative. And maybe I use that to help me get my way or get what I want or needed. Or maybe I search for that validation within romantic partners all the time because I didn't receive that from that parent that I needed it from. And now I have to rewire the way I think and try to give myself that love instead of searching for that validation in a partner. You know what I mean? It can be anything, but that's what I'm picking up on. Like maybe you had to find different coping mechanisms that helped you through that. So I guess this curiosity is coming from people that I guess have seen your past or have heard about your past or are somewhat aware of your past with the Six of Cups, either from you speaking about it or sharing it or just from it being known. And I guess people notice your strength and your resilience, and they notice how you didn't have things handed to you in life, but somehow you're trying to deal with it and you're trying to make it better for yourself. And even if your journey isn't perfect, even if you aren't quite there where you want to be yet, you have done a lot of work on yourself. You have made a lot of progress. And I guess people are noticing that progress and they're getting curious as to what you did to work on yourself or what you did to make your mental health better or to, make you feel safer or to make you feel like, I don't know, like maybe some of you went from, for example, like only experiencing toxic relationships to healthy relationships, or maybe some of you were like anxious all the time, and now you found a way to find peace and calmness without the anxiety, or maybe some of you went through depression and like you found yourself out of that, or you're learning to deal with it in some way. If it's not like you finding yourself out of it, there's some kind of theme of that happening here, and people almost like being surprised by it, being surprised by like how you dealt with this and how you seem grounded and seem either unaffected by it now or like it's affecting you very minimally, if that makes sense, at least from the outside perspection. This is how it seems. Some of you even had like EDs and you learned to find a healthy relationship with your body or body dysmorphia or something like that. That is what I'm picking up on energetically. So I guess people are curious as to like how you healed yourself and how you've worked on yourself and how you transformed um, from these past memories and if these past memories still affect you in some way mentally or emotionally. People assume that this was something quick, that, it didn't take a long time to do. And I think that people maybe see the results and they don't see how long it took for you to get here. And they don't see the mental state you were in, and how hard it was. And they don't see how maybe like at the time you were working on yourself, there were like inconsistencies where at the time you felt like I'm not doing enough. And I'm not saying you weren't doing enough, but at the time, maybe some of you felt that way. Like, my progress is up and down. I take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. But people didn't see that process of how the progress took place, that it wasn't one straight line of progress. It was like I took 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and then eventually I came to a place where I was making some kind of progress. And I guess people don't see it that way. People think it was just something in their own minds, they think it was just like a straight line of progress, but in reality, it was maybe something more like that. And I guess people don't realize that. if that makes sense, like when they're curious towards your story and like where you are right now. People sometimes also want to know if you got justice for whatever happened to you. So for those of you that went through certain injustices, people want to know like if you ever got justice for what happened to you. I also see this energy of people wanting to extend empathy and care your way after they hear what you've been through, and maybe not being able to imagine how you got through that. So, in terms of the other things I see besides this, I think that was the main energy that was most prominent. I also see that sometimes people can be quite calculated towards you. I don't know why. But then sometimes people want something from you and they're a little bit calculated, and then they try to seem curious because they want something from you. So I'm getting an energy where, like, let's say someone just wants something from you and they're speaking to you and they try to make it seem like they're interested in what's going on in your life and how you are, but then they're just trying to get something from you. I don't know why I'm picking up on that, but I am. I'm also getting that you've had situations where you were dry with someone or where you were kind of like nonchalant with someone and they kind of got very confused as to why you're like that, because maybe in the past you were like very lovey-dovey with them or very open with them. Um, or you weren't as detached, and then they get confused and wonder what changed. And I think a lot of those times you were in situations with people where maybe they weren't giving you what you needed emotionally at the time in the relationship, and that pattern had played out. And I think you tried to communicate your needs and they still never gave it to you. And then I think slowly you detached yourself from that relationship because you realized that they weren't giving you what you needed. And so I think there's this energy of like people being inconsistent with you and then expecting you to just be okay with it, but you weren't okay with it. And then eventually you gave them that same dry, nonchalant energy back because maybe it's what they were giving you. And I guess you just mirrored that energy back, and then they got very confused and they kind of threw a tantrum, I'm hearing. And then they kind of got curious as to why you're so nonchalant all of a sudden, or why all of a sudden you don't care, or you don't seem to care. You also have a lot of people from your past that you maybe didn't have the best relationships to or the best endings with. Or even if it wasn't like anything bad that happened between the two of you, let's just say things ended abruptly and they're confused and they don't have any closure, then a lot of times they will get curious towards why this happened, why this ending happened, and then they'll kind of like want to get your perception of that, especially if they miss you or if they can't figure out why this ending happened. Um, or even sometimes they want to resolve something with you. Like, let's say something happened in the past where you and this person had a conflict, and now as they've grown, as they've maybe like grown up and matured, it's like maybe they realize where they were wrong and maybe they want to apologize, and they're curious if you're still angry, if you're still hurt over it, if they had to come back, like what would your reaction to that be? I guess they're curious towards that and curious towards like your perception of them right now and how you feel about them right now. So with this pile, you have a lot of people from your past being curious towards you right now. I wouldn't even be surprised if you have a lot of people from your past stalking you on social media right now. You have also had certain people in the past try to pour into you in a way because they could see that you needed that love and you needed that TLC and that care. And somehow I'm getting this energy from their perception, and this is from their perception, so please don't take this personally if your perception of it is different. But from their perception, it was not received well. And they have no idea why, and they're confused. They don't understand why. So the Ace of Swords reverse can represent confusion. And when I look at these cups here and the pouring water, I'm getting this energy of like, I'm trying to pour into you, but you're not receiving it, or you're throwing the water out of the cup every time I try to pour it in. And maybe for some of you, it could be like a situation due to your attachment style where you could be like anxious and avoidance at the same time. Or maybe for some of you, it was like you didn't want to be close to that person. Or maybe for some of you, it was like you were uncomfortable receiving that love because you've never received it before. I don't know the reasons why, I'm just guessing, but I guess they perceive it as you never received it well, or you didn't want to receive their love, or you just wanted to get away from them. Um, or like every time they tried to pour into you, that would turn to like fire or smoke. It would turn chaotic. And they don't understand why it was like that. Like every time they tried to love you, it never happened the way they expected or wanted it to. I also think you had certain karmic relationships with people where maybe they were treating you badly, and then when you reacted to that, they couldn't understand why because they didn't want to take responsibility for that. So I guess you have a lot of situations with people from the past where they're still trying to find clarity or closure from what happened between the two of you, where they're still stuck and confused on why things happened the way they did. Like if things ended abruptly or ended badly, or if certain things happen in your connection that they're still confused about. I am seeing that quite prominently. Even some situations in your past where maybe you had a person that you guys tried to get along, but every time you guys clashed and they wonder why you guys clashed the whole time. I'm seeing situations like that too, but this is situations where it's like, I don't understand why this happened in our relationship. I don't understand why we never clicked. I don't understand why we could never make it work. Those are those situations where it's like they don't have closure. So they're curious as to why it happened, and they're still stuck in their head on the past and like why things happened the way they did. So I'm seeing that. And I guess if they had some kind of understanding of that, I guess there would be less curiosity there. Another thing I see here is like, let's say you ghosted people, or um, had like no contact with people with no explanation. They could also be curious as to why, like, did they do something wrong? And sometimes it's not even like intentional. Let's say you went on a first date with someone and you just weren't feeling the vibe, and now they're constantly wondering, like, did I do something wrong? Did I turn them off in some way? Like, I'm seeing situations like that too, where people are curious as to why you stop speaking to them. I'm also seeing that people could get quite addicted to your energy and to your love, where even long after the relationship ends, they're still sort of stuck on you in a way. Um, I'm seeing those sweets that get like stuck on something where they get very sticky. So I guess people become like that towards you. They kind of cling to you. Um, Even if they don't show it, they feel that way towards you. I'm also seeing situations people are curious towards you is because in certain situations, I mean, my grammar there didn't make sense. In certain situations where people are curious towards you, it is because they're worried about you in some way. So these are people that are closer to you, like loved ones. For example, I'm seeing like a mother figure that's always worried about you, or a husband or a wife that's always worried about you, always worried about your well-being, or best friend. Like, these are people that just love you and are close to you and always are worried about your well-being and if you've eaten, and that kind of energy is coming through. So that's showing there is a curiosity, like I wonder what they're doing right now. I wonder if they're thinking of me right now. These would be people that love you or people that want to be close to you. Like, let's say someone really cares about you and they're wondering like what you're doing in that moment, and they're kind of daydreaming about you in that moment. I see that too. I'm also seeing, this is really strange, but people you've slept with, and if you haven't done anything with anyone, then I guess you can skip over this message, but people you've been intimate with will always have a curiosity towards you. I don't know why, but it's almost like they get hypnotized by your energy, and it kind of leaves a mark on them where they can never forget about you. Like this pile, I get that you have a lot of people like kind of lurking, never being able to forget about you no matter how long ago things ended. Even if it was just like a friends with benefits situation, like I still see them kind of like obsessing over you, which is really strange to say. But I see situations where like they're keeping on wondering like if you're still attracted to them, if you ever think of them, stuff like that's coming through. And I get a lot of situations where people are attracted to you or crushing on you, and then they kind of get curious as to if you feel the same way or don't. So I'm seeing a lot of situations like that. I'm also seeing situations where people dream about you, and then they get curious as to why they had that dream, what that dream means. And I'm also seeing situations where you had offensive conversations with certain people. Not that you were trying to be offensive, but like maybe you and that person just didn't get along and you said some things that shouldn't have been said, or maybe there's no regrets there, I don't know. But let's just say you guys had your disagreements and they kind of wonder why you said those things or why you did those things. I'm hearing retaliate, so maybe for a lot of you, you were just retaliating to the things they said or did to you. So that is where I'm going to leave the reading. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Let me know how it resonated down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.